Chapter 12 Attack by Fire. Overview. This chapter specifically discusses various issues related to launching fire attacks against enemy forces, such as the targets, purposes, conditions, methods, and precautions to be taken in the course of using fire in warfare. Sun Tzu, believed that fire attacks can be divided into 5 types. Burning personnel, fire on troops; supplies, fire on stockpiles; transport, fire on equipment, arsenals; fire on depots; and supply lines, fire on convoys or routes. The goal is to destroy the enemy's manpower, material reserves, and logistical support. These 5 methods of fire attack must be used flexibly and strategically. However, since both sides may understand and use fire attacks, adequate defenses must also be considered. In addition, Sun Tzu pointed out the necessary conditions for carrying out fire attacks. Beyond having fire-starting materials prepared in advance, as emphasized by to carry out fire attacks, the tools must be ready. One must also carefully choose the timing. The key is to strike under favorable weather, meaning on dry, windy days, aligning with the principle of there is a proper time and day to set fires. Although Sun Tzu emphasized the effectiveness of fire, he regarded it only as an auxiliary means of attack. He stressed the coordination between fire attacks and troop operations, stating, "He who uses fire to assist an attack shows insight. He who uses water to assist an attack shows strength." Even though fire and water can be powerful, if military forces are not timely deployed, victory still cannot be secured. This shows that a strong coordination between primary and auxiliary methods is essential to achieve success in battle. 1. 5 forms of fire attack and the role of timing in warfare. Sun Tzu said, generally speaking, there are 5 types of fire attack. Burning personnel, setting fire to enemy troops; burning supplies, targeting their food and provisions; burning transport, destroying their wagons and logistical equipment, baggage trains; burning arsenals, attacking their weaponry and armories; burning formations, igniting their field structures such as tunnels or encampments. Implementing fire attacks requires specific conditions. The necessary tools and materials for fire attacks must be prepared in advance. Fires must be set according to the proper timing, which involves both season and astrological signs. The ideal season is during periods of dry weather when conditions are most flammable. The ideal days are when the moon passes through the constellations G, Bai, E, or Zhen. These are astrological signs associated with windy conditions, making them especially favorable for fire to spread effectively. All fire attacks must be coordinated with military operations according to the 5 types of fire attack. Reflections. Sun Tzu here points out the necessary conditions for a successful fire attack. These conditions include flammable materials, dry weather, and a favorable wind direction. In ancient times, there were many examples of victorious battles achieved through fire attacks. During the Tang Dynasty, the great general Geshu Han pursued the army of Cui Qianyu to a dangerous, narrow valley. Cui's forces occupied the high ground and attacked the Tang army with rolling logs and rocks, causing heavy casualties. Geshu Han ordered his soldiers to protect their heads with felt blankets and cover the horses and carts with straw and wood as they pushed forward. Just as they were about to break through the pass, a strong east wind suddenly arose. Cui Qianyu saw that the Tang army was advancing against the wind and using flammable materials to shield their troops and vehicles. He immediately launched a fire attack by throwing fire into the valley. Thick smoke and fierce flames swept toward the Tang army. Caught off guard, the Tang troops fell into disarray and trampled one another, resulting in massive casualties. 2. The strategic principles and cautions of fire attacks. If the fire is ignited from within the enemy's position, troops should be ready outside to respond and support the attack. If the fire breaks out but the enemy shows no reaction, remain calm and observant. Do not attack rashly. Wait until the fire becomes intense and then decide whether to advance based on the circumstances. If it is favorable, attack. If not, hold back. If the fire is set from outside, no internal coordination is necessary. What matters is timing it appropriately. Fire attacks must be launched from the upwind side. Never set fire from the downwind side. If wind blows steadily during the day, it is likely to cease by night. Troops must understand how to flexibly apply the 5 methods of fire attack and make use of them when the wind is favorable. Reflections. When using fire attacks, it is important to coordinate internal and external efforts. During the execution of a fire attack, one must not only understand seasonal changes and be aware of wind directions in each season, but also act based on the enemy's actual situation, deciding whether to proceed or halt accordingly. If one fails to assess wind conditions and enemy circumstances, it will inevitably lead to unnecessary losses. In the first year of the Yongning era of the Western Jin Dynasty, 301 AD, Luo Shang, the inspector of Ezhou, planned to launch a nighttime fire attack on the rebel forces camped under Li Te. However, Li Te had received advance intelligence and took strict precautions, setting up ambushes. When the government troops arrived, the rebel forces remained still. The government troops then set fires, yet the rebels stayed calm. Luo Shang recklessly launched an assault, only for the ambushed troops to suddenly strike from within and without, resulting in a crushing defeat for the government forces. 3. Harnessing fire and water, power, restraint, and reward in warfare. Thus, fire can enhance the strength of an offensive, and water can amplify its momentum. Water can sever enemy movements, but cannot destroy their supplies. Anyone who wins a battle and captures territory or cities, but fails to distribute rewards appropriately, invites danger. This is what is called wasteful stagnation, filiu. Therefore, a wise ruler must act with careful deliberation, and a capable general must plan with thoughtful analysis. Reflections. Sun Tzu emphasizes the importance of promptly consolidating the fruits of victory. If a victory is not solidified in time, it can quickly turn into defeat. In the 17th year of the Chongzhen reign of the Ming Dynasty, 1644, Li Zicheng led his rebel army into Beijing. His troops maintained strict discipline and did not disturb the people, and law and order were quickly restored. Soon after, Li's forces took control of more than half of the country's local governments. However, the favorable situation made the rebel leaders arrogant. Niu Jingxing was busy socializing, Lu Zongmin focused on demanding military funds, and Li Zicheng seized Chen Yuan, the beloved concubine of Wu Sangue, inciting public outrage. Wu Sangue, who had initially agreed to surrender, immediately rebelled, seized Shanhaiguan, and invited Qing forces to enter Beijing. Li Zicheng was defeated in battle, and Lu Zongmin was also routed. Just 42 days after entering the capital, the peasant army was forced to retreat. During the struggle between the Han and Chu kingdoms, Liu Bang, the first emperor of the Han dynasty, defeated Xiong Yu's main force in the Battle of Gaixia and unified China. After this victory, Liu Bang granted titles of nobility, but only to trusted followers such as Zhang Liang, Xiao He, and Chao Shun, those who had supported him from the beginning. The other generals, seeing this, began to feel resentful. One day, while traveling to the southern palace in Luoyang, Liu Bang saw several generals gathered in groups, deep in discussion. He asked Zhang Liang what they were talking about. Zhang Liang replied, "Don't you know? They are plotting rebellion." Liu Bang was puzzled and asked, why would they rebel when the country is already unified? Zhang Liang explained, "You were once an ordinary man who rose to power with the help of these people. But now you've only rewarded your old acquaintances like Xiao He and Chao Shun, while punishing or executing those you disliked or distrusted. These generals fear they won't be rewarded, and they also fear that one misstep will bring your wrath and cost them their lives. That's why they're gathering and expressing their dissatisfaction." Alarmed, Liu Bang asked Zhang Liang what he should do. Zhang Liang said, "Who is the person you dislike the most? Someone everyone knows about." Liu Bang replied, "Yong Qi, we have old grudges. He has humiliated me before, and I've wanted to kill him many times, but refrained because of his merits." Zhang Liang advised, "You should grant Yong Qi a title right away." Once the generals see that even Yong Qi can be made a marquis, their anxiety will disappear. Liu Bang followed this advice, held a banquet, and publicly granted Yong Qi the title of Marquis of Shifang. He also instructed the Prime Minister and Censor-in-Chief to determine and distribute other rewards quickly. After the banquet, the generals said to each other, "If even Yong Qi can be made a marquis, then we have nothing to worry about." In this way, the unrest caused by delayed rewards was quickly resolved. For the ethics of war, restraint before ruin. Do not move unless there is advantage. Do not use force unless there is gain. Do not go to war unless the situation is critical. A ruler must not go to war out of personal anger, and a general must not seek battle out of frustration. Act only when it benefits the nation. Stop when it causes harm. Anger can subside, and resentment can fade, but a nation destroyed cannot be restored, and lives lost cannot be revived. This is why a wise ruler must approach war with caution, and a skilled general must remain vigilant, for this is the key to preserving the state and safeguarding the army. Reflections. This is Sun Tzu's principle of cautious warfare. Unless victory is assured, the odds are in our favor, or the situation is one of life or death, war should not be initiated lightly. Otherwise, it will lead to disastrous consequences. At the end of the Sui dynasty, Emperor Yang launched 3 costly campaigns against Goguryeo without a true threat, causing immense suffering and anger among the people. Before long, large-scale peasant uprisings broke out. Li Mi, Zhai Rang, Dou Jianda, and the father and son Li Yuan rose up from all sides, throwing the central plains into chaos. Emperor Yang fled to Jiangdu, but still indulged in pleasure. One day, a group of rebels broke into the palace, killed the guards, and surrounded the emperor. He asked, "What crime have I committed?" The rebel leader Ma Wenju shouted, "You lived in extreme luxury, waged war recklessly, and caused untold suffering to the people." Emperor Yang replied, "I have failed the people, but not you." Sima said, "The entire world resents you, not just us. We now take your head to atone to the people." Terrified, Emperor Yang begged for his life. How can the Son of Heaven be separated from his head? He then removed his belt and handed it to Linghu Xingda, who looped it around his neck and strangled him to death. At the very beginning of The Art of War, Sun Tzu declares, "War is a matter of vital importance to the state. It is the province of life and death, the road to survival or ruin. It must be thoroughly studied." He makes it clear that war determines the fate of a nation and must be approached with great caution. A ruler must not go to war out of momentary anger, and generals must not engage the enemy out of personal resentment. Sun Wu also proposed, "Do not act unless it is in your interest. Do not use troops unless there is gain. Do not go to war unless the situation is critical." He further warned, "Anger can be restored to calm, resentment can turn to joy. But a destroyed nation cannot be restored, and the dead cannot be brought back to life. Therefore, a wise ruler is cautious, and a good general is alert. This is the way to preserve the nation and protect the army." History provides numerous examples of rulers who waged war in anger and brought disaster upon their countries. In the Zhizhitong Jian, it is recorded that in June of the year 221 CE, Liu Bei, seeking to avenge Guan Yu's death at the hands of Eastern Wu, prepared to attack Sun Quan. Zhao Yun advised him, "It was Cao Cao who usurped the state, not Sun Quan. If we defeat Wei first, Wu will naturally submit. So attacking Wu now is not wise. Once war begins, it will not end quickly." Liu Bei replied, "When Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and I took our oath in the Peach Garden, we swore to live and die together. Now that Guan Yu is dead, how can I enjoy wealth and power alone?" Before he finished speaking, he broke down in tears. Zhuge Liang and other ministers repeatedly tried to dissuade him. Liu Bei said, I will not share the same sky with Eastern Wu. Zhuge Liang said, I heard that Wu sent Guan Yu's head to Cao Cao, and that Cao Cao buried him with honors. Do you know why? Liu Bei shook his head. Zhuge Liang explained, Wu hoped to shift the blame to Cao Cao. Cao Cao saw through this and buried Guan Yu respectfully to redirect your anger toward Wu. Liu Bei said, I will raise an army to avenge him. Zhuge Liang urged, both Wu and Wei hope you will attack the other. They each wait to exploit the situation. You should remain still, mourn Guan Yu, and wait for discord to break out between Wu and Wei. Then strike. Despite repeated counsel, Liu Bei refused to listen and launched a large-scale attack against Wu in 222 CE. As a result, he was defeated by Lu Xun, who burned his camps and destroyed most of his forces. From then on, the Shu army never recovered. In contrast, Sima Yi endured Zhuge Liang's taunts and refused to engage rashly, eventually defeating the Shu forces. These examples, both positive and negative, illustrate that rulers and generals must prioritize the safety of the nation and act when it is in our interest, and stop when it is not. As commanders, the ability to control anger and manage resentment is crucial and should not be taken lightly.